Welcome to the Steelers Realm Podcast. And now, here are the boys of Steelers Realm, New Jersey Dev, JT, and the famous TA.
Hey, Steeler Nation, welcome back to another multimedia Steelers Realm podcast extravaganza, whatever you want to call it. I'm one of your hosts, JT. Glad to be back with you guys. Of course, Steelers Realm podcast being powered by Riverside.fm, the official high-definition video and audio remote conferencing tool of Steelers Realm. Joined by our normal cast of characters tonight, and not sure where he is tonight. It looks like he's in the Steelers locker room, but it's the famous TA. What's up, man? Where you at tonight?
I'm in the Steelers locker room.
Oh, okay. Well, of course you are.
Where else would I be? It's after draft. I got to get to meet all the new people, JT. I mean, me, just like the rest of Pittsburgh media, should have that opportunity, don't you think?
Of course. Yeah,
of course.
We all have to meet them, too.
Yeah.
And back here, just outside the IUP campus, CJ joining us again. What's up, my brother?
Just another beautiful night, Kenny Pickett. What a time to be alive if you are a Steeler and Pitt Panther fan.
Why, certainly. And, our goal tonight, guys, is to kind of dive into that draft extravaganza and the weekend that we had, and kind of get to know, as I would like to do, kind of get to know a little bit more about the guys we drafted, as well as dig into, what they're going to bring and, grade ourselves against the rest of the AFC North. So a lot to get into tonight. But
I can tell you one thing, JT, what they better bring: production.
Yeah, well, there's been a lot of work addressing those things that we knew we were going to have to address in the offseason. And I thought they did pretty good filling some of the holes before the draft so they could go ahead and, kind of fill for depth and build on that framework rather than just trying to plug immediate holes with bodies, which it seems like we went through the last 2 years, I guess, when you say.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Kevin, for getting ready to go on his way out the door, he left us in pretty good shape.
Yeah, I think so. And then maybe we could touch base on that a little bit. But anyhow, CJ, how was your week, man?
Can't really complain. It's been, well, you can. And a NIL has ruined college football. A lot of fans out there that might not know. Pitt had a Biletnikoff Award winner transfer based on money. That was very disappointing. So we'll leave it at that.
Okay. Well, perhaps you can expand on that at some point.
Oh, if you want me to talk about it now, I will.
No. Let's save that. Keep that in your pocket. A couple interesting things kind of arose as we would get into the realm before we dive in to our draft class. The first of which was a friend of the show's here, Joe Gordon, one of our first VIP guests, along with Tony Parisi, has been awarded, by the Pro Football Hall of Fame, announced these two as two of the 20 individuals to receive the inaugural Awards of Excellence from 4 different groups recognized as being vital to the game. So congratulations, you guys. I don't know how many people realize, how instrumental Joe Gordon was at the time Chuck Noll was was hired, but he was hired that same year and was pretty much in charge of being the single the single media guy for the Steelers, and did a fantastic job. Of course, TA, you'll remember when he was on our show, and Steeler Nation, make sure to dig that out. It's back in our archives there, but check out Joe Gordon's interview. He spent his entire hour with us telling some background stories, but he was crucial on some of those instrumental drafts too, with his backing of Bill Nunn, who was recently inducted to Hall of Fame. Right, TA? Is that correct? Was he inducted, or he was?
I don't think he's inducted. I think he just got the Award of Excellence.
Okay.
So
okay.
There's like a little Hall of Honor there in the Hall of Fame. So he'll get his name on a little plaque there, and probably a little saying about him. So, but yeah, I mean, in JT, you're right. He was the PR guy, and back in those days, I mean, back in those days, you got to remember, it was all typewriter and a telephone that used to hang on the wall with a cord. He couldn't move to do his job.
That's right. He was stuck, yet he's completely accessible. And then, of course, if you guys don't know, Parisi became the team manager back in '65. And before that, in '49, he was actually drafted as a goaltender by Major Junior Ontario Hockey Association and played on nearly 900 games in England, Sweden, Italy, all over the place. And then Pittsburgh Hornets. Do you remember the Pittsburgh Hornets?
Oh, definitely, yes. Right when I grew up, they were very. No, it's interesting to learn about the history of former Steelers and like what they did and how they got there. Being younger, it's a nice little history lesson. And it's amazing to learn about it and go through it.
Yeah, so Steeler Nation, listen, if you haven't had a chance to hear that interview, he was gracious enough to give us exactly 60 minutes of pure greatness, like he is too. But anyhow, these 20 winners of the inaugural Award of Excellence will be placed on display inside the designated area in the Pro Football Hall of Fame Museum in Canton. TA, stop in CTA while you're out there. And they'll be invited to the 2022 Enshrinement Week, and they'll be recognized in Canton in August too. So congratulations, Joe and Tony. Well done.
Well, JT, I can't believe you're not going to talk about Parisi. He was instrumental in us winning the Super Bowl against the Vikings.
But do tell, TA.
Well, they had anticipated down in New Orleans that the field was going to be a little slick. So Parisi ordered 75 pairs of some slickers, some rubbers for the players to go ahead and put on their feet so they wouldn't be sliding around. So after that, we were able to, take that 2-0 lead. That's right. 2-0 lead in the Super Bowl over the Vikings and go on and get the first of many trophies to come. He was the mastermind behind the slickers.
Nice. Well, see, there you go, CJ. More of that history.
Hey, you learn something new every day.
That's it. And of course, somebody, speaking of equipment, this guy's hanging his cleats up. He announced, when was it? Tuesday on the Fan. Did you hear, CJ?
Yes, I did. So Ed Bouchette, someone that I didn't know as a young kid. I don't really know much of his history and how he became kind of the voice of the Steelers. Quotes. But Ed Buschetta is retired. And just kind of grown up, listening to the Fan, his segments on the various programs that they've had. He was their Steelers insider. And when he spoke, you listened. He never had any BS. He never had anything outlandish to say. What he reported, he believed in, he sourced, he fact checked, he did his job. It's going to be sad to see him leave because he did such a great job in reporting the news when it came to the Steelers. So, sad to see him say, very entertaining man, and it's interesting to see who maybe steps up and takes his place.
Yes, certainly. Certainly. One thing about Ed, I think you summarized that pretty good, man, CJ. He spoke his mind, and he didn't have a lot of flair about it. He's just straight at it. Senior beat writer for the Steelers for as long as I can remember. But like you said, if he said it, you could pretty much bet that was going to happen.
And that's why I respect it so much. Far too often in today's society, you have people just throwing stuff out there, right?
Just to sensationalize it. Yes, absolutely.
When Ed Bouchette spoke, when he had an opinion or a fact to report, it was something that you respected immediately. He didn't fall into this hot take journalism type deal. He reported the facts, and when he spoke, that was the fact. And I respect the hell out of that because he could have easily fell into Stephen A. Smith's or Screaming A. Smith's hot take machine.
Man, CJ, you make the man sound like he's EJ Hutton, man. When Ed speaks, people listen.
People listen.
Yeah, I mean,
but I do think TA that when he does speak and he has something to say, people do listen, and that's why he will eventually. I don't know. I don't want to get too far into that. Great reporter, did his job.
Yeah, certainly go down in history.
He was old school. Old school.
He was.
He too started with the typewriter.
Yeah.
Yes, he probably did.
Mm-hmm.
He was what, 50 years in the business?
Yeah, 50 years.
Yeah.
You believe that?
Wow.
I just want to read one of his quotes that he said. I can go out saying that I worked for a company for the New York Times, right? So I started at the bottom and I worked up to the top. Although I'm not demeaning anyone else, he said, the Post-Gazette to me was the top, and the move to the Athletic was great for me. I think Steelers Nation, at the end of the day, is going to miss Ed Bouchette for everything that I said and everything that he stood for. I'm not demeaning any other reporters that cover the Steelers, but Ed was a good guy who, as I've said multiple times, when he spoke, people listened. And I'm hoping that we can find the next guy that goes on to report Steelers information like he did. So congrats to Ed for a great career and retiring and going out on top.
Yeah.
CJ, we already got that guy. Mark Madden.
Oh, yeah.
You got to be kidding me.
Oh, yeah. Let's not get into that.
I'm in a good mood. TA, I'm in a good mood. I don't need to be speaking about Mark Madden today.
So listen, the revolving door continues to move with the exodus, and of course the GM search continues too. But what do you got on that, TA? Kevin Colbert certainly left with a bang, wouldn't you say?
Hey, Kevin Colbert definitely left with a bang. I mean, JT, Steeler Nation cannot be upset with what this gentleman has done for us over the last 2 decades. He's brought us 2 Super Bowl trophies. He has brought us basically millions of memories that we've all shared with our family. And it's time for him to hang up his whistle. It's time for him to ride out in the sunset. And with that being said, second round of interviews have begun, baby. Now, the one thing that I'll say about this GT that I think I really, really have to commend the Steelers for, they're not up against any competition at this time to try to find a GM. Everybody else has already got their GM. They can take their methodical time in picking the right candidate. So I'm kind of excited to see who it is, and I hope that whoever we pick has another fruitful 2 decades and maybe 4 more Super Bowl trophies to top it off when they're done.
So when Kevin took over as Steelers GM, I was 5 years old. This man, it's kind of amazing to think kind of the run he's had. You hear all about, Bill Belichick, the Crafts, all this other bullshit. Colbert, love him, hate him. He always stayed behind the scenes. He knew what his job was. He knew what role he had to fulfill, and that's all he wanted. He didn't want the praise. He didn't want the limelight. He didn't want any of that. And the man did a hell of a job. So sad to see him go. It's kind of another end of the era. I think it's cool that him and Big Ben are going out at the same time. And it's going to be interesting to see who does replace him. And I will say this. The Rooneys know how to find someone that's going to fit long term. So I have trust in that. Here's another man that's going to end up in the Hall of Fame. Easily.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. I think so. He certainly was impactful. So who's on who's on the wings?
Oh, JT. There's at least 8 candidates right now. I mean, but if we want to talk about a famous one we all get to watch, Louis Reddick. I mean, there's a lot of people saying that he's coming out from being an announcer and he's going to be the GM. I mean, me personally, I think this is another Kenny Pickett deal. We, as Tomlin has said, we have searched the globe doing our homework only to find out the guy we chose was right next door or in our back office in AKA either Omar Khan or Brandon Hunt.
I think it's Brandon Hunt. I think it's Brandon Hunt. I think when you see how far and how hard they've searched for someone to replace Kevin, I think they are just doing their due diligence. I think Brandon Hunt's the guy. I think Louis Reddick, he's kind of getting the play from ESPN. He's getting that media boost because you see him on Monday Night Football. It's got to be Brandon Hunt. It does. But
Louis Reddick's on Monday Night Football?
Sadly, yes, he was. Very uneventful.
Yeah, but
1 year.
That was how many years ago?
No,
you were 6
last year.
You were 6 at the time.
Well, he was on Monday Night Football as a commentator this past year, but no one probably watched because they were watching the Manning Supercast.
Oh, yeah.
And
all right,
was pretty good.
It was, and I tell you what, I have one complaint. I'm gonna just let it rip here. They've tried to recreate this with Sunday Night Baseball with A-Rod and Michael Kay. It is fucking horrible. It is bad.
Nah.
We'll leave it at that.
Didn't catch that.
No. No, they took the same concept and ran it in the ground. I wouldn't expect that from ESPN, though, right? That's not something they do.
CJ,
All right.
all I have to say, CJ, is if you're seriously watching that for baseball, you have to find a hobby.
If you could give me like 2 or 3 suggestions, I will take them and run with them.
We'll have to talk about that after the show.
Yeah, we'll talk about this off the air.
Absolutely, son. You're starting to worry me tonight.
That's okay. Hey, if you got something to worry about, make sure to put it in a little private chat in the back room there. So keep an eye on that just in case. But anyhow, guys, hey, we're going to jump into and meet our draft class this year. Before we do that, want to see how we kind of fared against the rest of the AFC. CJ, we were kind of talking about that before you jumped on, and be curious to get you guys' take about how we fared versus everyone else. But before we do that, got to send a special plug out for Manscaped. Steelers support for Steelers Realm podcast is being brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below the waist grooming. We can all attest to that because we've all been Manscaped. Partially one way or the other, but hey, some great product there, both in the ear hair, nose hair trimmer, and of course the lawnmower, which takes care of a lot of things too. But join over 4 million men, guys, worldwide who trust Manscaped with an exclusive offer, just brought to you by Steelers Realm, 20% off. Along with free worldwide shipping, if you go out to manscaped.com and use the code REALM20 at manscaped.com. And, doing it in my head, 4 million men, that's about 8 million stones.
And JT, I just want to say, for all you men who haven't went out there and try it, you got to go out there and get it. And if you're afraid that you're going to, maybe lawnmower over the wrong thing while you're down there, wait till the lights go low. Ask that certain somebody to come in. Turn it into a pleasure cruise and have your partner help you with it. It's a pretty exciting thing. And the vibrations, you're going to love it, guys. Go get yourself one.
Yeah, I wasn't quite intimate with mine, but maybe I'm missing something. Fine piece of machinery, though, no doubt.
Fine.
I think
let
the
me tell you
missus
something.
Been using it too.
Because women know how to utilize things that vibrate, and you get that in their hand, they're like magic with it.
All right, let's focus on the men's side of things here.
Well, I'm just saying. Since I've started using Manscaped, I haven't had any complaints down there. So hey, Manscaped's doing their job.
So what you're saying is your partner can finally see it now?
Yes, it's amazing what Manscaped can do for you. I highly suggest anyone out there listening, give it a go, give it a try, make that investment.
Give it a try.
It might give you the best 3 minutes of your life. Just saying.
Manscaped.com, guys. Manscaped.com, and use the code REALM20, 20% off. We appreciate the support. They support us. Anything you can do will obviously help us maintain some of the costs here too. So there is a paid endorsement, and we appreciate Drew and the gang over at Manscaped for connecting with us and helping to bring all you gentlemen out there, Steeler fans, Steeler Nation, some great products too. So if you haven't, check them out, manscaped.com. And so let's move on to let's get into our draft class here. But before we do that, real quick, TA, can you kick us off? How did we do first versus the Ravens? I guess everybody's saying Ravens did so good. And what about the rest of the AFC North? How did we fare? What do we have to worry about?
Well, if we listen to all the experts, we might not have done enough to be able to compete in the AFC North this year. And the Ravens, I gotta tip my hat to it. You gotta give credit where credit is due, JT. They walked away with 11 draft picks this year. Now, you
Gee.
might want to ask, how do I get 11 draft picks? They started planning for this 2 years ago. Do you know why, JT?
No. Do tell.
So 2 years ago, we had this thing called the pandemic, correct?
Oh yeah.
COVID began. Somebody in that front office was smart enough to figure out, hey, if we're not playing college games, kids are not playing enough college games. Kids are going to either stick around for one more year for good draft eligibility. They figured in 2022, all of these kids who had stuck around an extra year to make up for the COVID year for the draft, in years that they would go 1, 2, and 3, would fall to the 4th round. So they actually ended up having 2 first-round picks, and they ended up picking up 2 guys we had talked about, and Kyle Hamilton as a safety and Tyler Lindenball. Then they kind of did a little reach job for David Joby, who tore his Achilles tendon in pro days, but then followed it up with 6 4th-round draft picks.
Hold
Yes,
that
sir.
thought for a second, man.
Yes, sir.
I have
Something was-
a different
something was
I have a
wrong there.
different opinion on this.
Go
I
ahead.
don't think it was because of COVID that they got this. I give their front office a lot of credit. I think it is because they knew at a point in time that they were going to have to extend Lamar Jackson, and they were going to have to take on a cap hit.
CJ, that's actually not the case. It's really true. They pre-planned this draft. If you read anything out there, Baltimore, they personally came out and said Ozzie Newsome had pre-planned this, dude.
That's why Ozzie Newsome is a surefire Hall of Famer. But let's get into it. The first round, as you said, Kyle Hamilton, Tyler Linderbaum.
Yep.
Great picks. Great picks.
There were also
2 picks in the first
Then
round.
they get a
Yeah.
nice pass rusher and David Ajobi in the second.
Yeah, but the thing is with the Joby, how's he going to go ahead and that's a chance pick. How's he going to go ahead and respond after that Achilles tendon tour?
But I think that's kind of, you look at Hamilton and Linderbaum, you're like, to them, doesn't matter. We know Kyle Hamilton's going to be good, right? We do. And then in the third, they take Travis Jones from UConn, who was the star of the Senior Bowl, right?
Had a
They kind
fantastic
of hedged
Senior
their
Bowl.
bets there. What was that?
He had a fantastic Senior Bowl.
So, I give the Ravens full credit. I think if you were rank 1 through 4, where they ended up draft wise, I'd give them 1. Now I would give the Steelers 2, and then, I mean, does it really matter between the Browns and everything else? I mean,
Well,
I can sit here. I like Daxton Hill. I like their first round pick from the Bengals. But everyone else that they took, I'm like kind of like, whatever.
Yeah, but you got to wait a minute, CJ. Before we go jumping on the other ones, what's the one thing that the Ravens did not pick up?
Wide receiver.
Exactly. So evidently they know that their running back cannot throw the ball. So they're going to rely on him to run this year.
Well, I kind of look at it different. If you remember when he came into the league, they wanted to kill it at tight end, right? They had Andrews. They had, I can't think of the guy's name. He went to the Falcons. Why can't I think of his name? They drafted him earlier, right? And they come back this year in round 4. They take the guy from Iowa State, Charlie Kohler, and Isaiah Likely from Coastal Carolina. I think they're getting back to what they originally thought Lamar was going to do, right? They
Run the
have
ball
to open
behind
up
the tight
holes.
end.
Yes.
Yes.
And
Okay,
passing over
I
the
just
middle.
want to make sure. To the
I
tight
mean,
end.
Yes.
So it's a tight end offense with a running back.
Yes, and they're going to try to kill people with the run game, read options, quick RPOs. So say what you want about that, but they have a plan. They have a plan on how to maximize Lamar's talent.
So when Lamar's talent fails like it did last year late in the season, what's the backup plan? What's plan B?
I hope that eventually they just get enough defensive pass interferences and they win a game
Okay.
in
All
the
right.
playoffs. Hey,
All right.
listen, I hate the Ravens. I hate the Ravens.
So your
But-
plan is to get lucky.
That's kind of
Yes.
what I'm thinking.
But I
So
respect what they're trying to do.
I think that they did a fantastic job in drafting. My problem is they don't have a wide receiver. So I think that bodes well for us in the AFC. Now, you mentioned the Cincinnati Bengals. All right, you're right. Daxton Hill was a great pick. Then you kind of said, they really didn't do much after that. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. Why did they lose the Super Bowl?
Well, because Zach Taylor's their coach. But next question. They just I hate Zach Taylor. First off, hold on a second. I'm gonna go on a rant because I wasn't around. I think Zach Taylor.
You wasn't around?
No, I wasn't around. I think Zach Taylor is the worst coach in the NFL. Yes, they made it to the Super Bowl, blah 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 blah, and all this bullshit. This guy, he just looks like an idiot on the sidelines each and every weekend. He's being carried by Joe Burrow. Whatever. Get into your question.
Now, wait
I
a
don't want to
second.
go on a Zach Taylor
Bill-
rant.
Wait a second. Bill Belichick doesn't look like Einstein over there, and he's doing a pretty good job.
Bill Belichick's been successful for like 22 years. He was successful
has been.
prior to.
But I mean, what does looks have to do with it? Because I could call Bill Belichick a thug in a hoodie.
Do you think Zach Taylor's a good head coach?
I'm not going to say he's a good coach or a bad coach, but I will say that I got to give the man props. He was able to take his team to the Super Bowl. He's built a winning team with Cincinnati. And yes, is Joe Burrow an instrument of that? He is. But Joe's not the only guy. It takes 22 players last time I checked, and he's got them all singing out of the same hymn.
We'll rank the head coaches here shortly with opinions, but this guy. Next.
All right.
Next.
Let's move. Let's keep moving here, and get into our draft class.
Hey,
so overall,
one thing.
Ravens. So they get the big golden goose for the best draft this year. Who cares? Ready to go at him. How about you?
Exactly.
Can we shit on the Browns real quick? Can we shit on the Browns real quick? What are they doing? What are they doing with Baker? I'll leave it at that. I think it's hilarious, honestly. I think it's hilarious.
Well, what they're going to do is they're going to eat $19 million.
It's hilarious.
Because all the NFL teams know that there's nothing they could do. They could not find a draft day trade for him. And at the end of the day, they're going to have no choice but to either sit him on the bench and hope the cancer does not spread, or release him and eat that money over the course of the next 2 years. And then somebody else will pick him up dirt cheap. The only one who really makes out here is Baker Mayfield.
Oh, I just think it's funny. We'll let the Browns be the Browns. I'm sorry, JT, for taking that over real quick.
That's all right. That's all right. Hey, you know what? I feel pretty good, so I don't really care. I don't really care who they got. Joe Burrow played pretty good. Looked pretty mediocre in the Super Bowl, though. So they don't scare me. Neither does the running back that the Ravens have at quarterback. So I think we got two quarterbacks that are better passers than that guy. But anyhow, so let's get into it. Let's talk about our guys that we're going to take into 2022. So introducing the 2022 Steelers draft class. None other than University of Pittsburgh's own Kenny Pickett left for us at 20th overall. What do you think, guys? We're stoked? Steeler Nation is. CJ is.
JT, only time is going to tell. I mean, right now it's 50-50 out there that you got 50% of the people out there saying Pickett's a shoe-in to start day one. And then you got others saying no.
I really think Kenny Pickett was a great draft pick. At 20 to get Pickett at that position, you're getting the number one QB in the draft, as I said last week. And here's a guy who is motivated by all accounts, who's worked hard. His teammates respect him. This guy just wants to go to work, right? So it'll be interesting to see how he develops and all that stuff. But I think this is as good as it gets. I don't think he's going to start day one. I think Trubisky will be the game one starter. Maybe by week 6, after the bye week, week 7, I think he'll be ready to roll. So we'll see. I'm happy. I liked it. I have no hate for that.
I think we lost TA there. You hearing him?
I am not hearing him. So, Jim, what do you think about Kenny Pickett?
I like it. I like the pick. I think he should. I think he should just hang in there, work through the first year, work behind a veteran, get to know the system, keep the pressure off. We all saw what can happen when you throw a quarterback in the mix too early. I think Big Ben is the exception to that. When Tommy Maddox got hurt, I think their plan all along was, though, to let him play for hold the clipboard for a year. So I just don't want to see undue pressure. And let's face it, gentlemen, being a quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers carries a lot of weight. So let's give him a few to get in and to get settled and work towards that. Hey, if he earns it and he's ready for it, I think of any of the quarterbacks this year in this draft class, he certainly was probably the most ready to move into the pro style. So,
JT, you're starting to sound like a logical Steeler fan here. Now, according to CJ here, Trubisky's going to get ready to go 2-5, and the fans are going to start screaming for Pickett to be on the field. You're saying he's just going to hold a clipboard and let's just ease him into the fold. I mean, at the end of the day, where is Rudolph? Why aren't we talking about Rudolph?
Oh, dude, Rudolph's he's like the reindeer that's at front of Santa Claus's sleigh. Bullshit. No, I don't think Rudolph will be with Steelers after camp. I really don't. You can't have that many bodies. You can't have that many. I don't know. Rudolph seems like
the third guy out. Let's face it. Third guy out.
You can bring in. Like, who cares to be the third quarterback?
He doesn't have a date to the prom.
Oh
Not
no, he
anymore.
doesn't. He should be checking out spots in like New York, hang out, maybe behind out there. I kind of feel bad for Mason Rudolph, and then I remember just how bad he sucked after he had his concussion. Just to be honest.
Yeah,
Like,
he gun shy. You know what?
yeah.
Tommy Maddox was like that after he got his bell rung too. You remember TA?
I do.
CJ, were you young enough to remember before Big Ben stepped in?
Yeah, I remember like the one
Remember that
game
game?
where one game, that's it.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I remember him coming in as a backup quarterback for Cordell in a blowout. God bless Tommy Gunn. What a legend. What a legend. And now there's a new legend in town that's going to be wearing that jersey number.
Number 8.
Did you guys see he didn't even have to pay. I forget who it was. Maybe you guys can fill me in here. There was a veteran that gave up the number automatically for old Kenny Pickett.
Oh, who was that?
Yeah,
Yes, I saw that. He was oh man, I saw that and I can't think of it. I can't think of it. Receiver?
Are you guys really giving up that easily?
Oh yeah, I expected I expect you to just chime in with the right answer.
Well, I was kind of enjoying waiting to see if you guys actually got it. I'll tell you what, he plays on the defensive side of the ball.
Okay.
Yeah, this
And-
dude's had 4 numbers because he took over Melvin Ingram. He changed his number for Melvin Ingram.
Correct. And I'll help you out. It was Carl Joseph.
What a legend. What a legend.
Carl Joseph?
Yeah, what a legend.
Put
Should
him
we get
down in
into-
the annals of legendary with along with Lima Swede.
Hey, not to move on too quickly though. I would like to get into our next draft pick.
Okay.
We had
I
more
think
than
this
one?
was a good one too. This was a good one.
Yes, it was a good one. His reaction to getting drafted by the Steelers is a meme that is going to last forever. It is something that will stand the test of time. JT, you are going to put it in when you upload this, because he looked like he was 6 months pregnant, standing in front of the TV. Old George Pickens, wide receiver from Georgia. If you're listening and you haven't seen the video of George Pickens standing in front of his TV screen when he gets announced as Steelers draft pick, I implore you, you have to go look at this, because it is one of the funniest things you'll ever see in your life. But a great pick. Thoughts?
I like it. He is a scrappy guy, man. I think some of the highlight reels I've seen, he doesn't take any crap.
No, he doesn't. And one thing to think about, he was injured last year, okay, as a draft eligible junior. He put up a very good freshman and sophomore campaign, and then he came back late last year, off that injury. One thing to think about with him is he does a very good job at high pointing the ball and tracking. He played in that Georgia offense with a below average quarterback. So it's going to be interesting to see what he can do in an NFL offense. He's got size, he's got speed, he's got the ball tracking abilities. I'm very high on him. I think he's going to be a more versatile wide receiver than what you see from Chase Claypool. I think he's going to be able to be used in the slot a little more and a little more dynamic. I think it was a great pick, and I like what they're trying to do around Kenny Pickett.
So it's a P to P, point to point, pick to pick.
Pickett to Pickens, baby.
Is that what it is now?
Yeah, a little PP action.
Well, I tell you what, I think the biggest thing with this kid is, I think Colbert and Tomlin said it best. This was a kid who had a knee injury, who could have just went ahead and said, "You know what? I'm done my senior year. I'm just gonna get myself ready for the draft." Instead, he got himself ready to come back to help Georgia win the championship. And I think that it's character that they seen most in this kid upon his skill set, but it's definitely character.
There it is, baby. There it is.
All right, so we're at what, number 3?
The
There
Marvin
it is.
Leal,
He's sitting there
defensive
looking at
end.
watching him
But
get
that's what I'm
drafted.
saying. Like, hey, congrats, man. Not only did you just become a millionaire, you're a meme for life. You are a meme for life. It's unbelievable.
All
So,
right.
defensive end, Texas A&M, to Marvin Leal.
You know who he
To
kind of
me-
reminds me of in that picture? Not to interrupt. Who's that? Who's that comedian? Used to be on Fox in Living Color. Him and Carrie back in the day. You know who I'm talking about?
Didn't he just get attacked at a show over the weekend or
No,
this week?
that was David Chappelle. That was David Chappelle.
Okay.
No. He played in Sergeant Payne, the movie. You remember that? Major Payne? Did you ever see the movie Major Payne?
I think so, but I can't recall.
All right,
Nope.
it'll have to come to me then. All right, on to Leal.
I like this pick a lot.
Damon
He got in the
Wayans.
backfield. What was that?
Damon Wayans.
That's it. Yeah.
He looked like
He got-
Damon Wayans in that photo.
Yeah, he did.
I have no clue who the hell that is. So
You don't know who Damon Wayans is?
no.
Yes, you do. You'd know him. If
If I saw him, whatever. If I saw him.
So anyhow, let's keep moving. Leal.
I like this pick. Defensive end. That's kind of what they list him as. He got into the backfield a lot last year as a junior. 8.5 sacks, 12.5 tackles for loss. Here's a guy who is going to be a pass rush specialist on paper. If this guy can figure out how to stop the run, he is going to be an absolute superstar in the league. Now, as a third round pick, that's kind of one of your 40, 60% of the time, it ain't going to happen. He could end up just being a pass rush specialist, being depth on that outside. But for a third round pick, coming from a major program, I don't think there's much here that you wouldn't like.
All right, so there's a couple things I want to touch upon here. So you're saying that if he learns how to stop the run,
Yes.
so what made you think that he cannot stop the run?
Pretty much, he is a pass rush specialist at defensive end at Texas A&M.
I think I have to disagree with you. The one thing that I liked about this kid is that he did stop the run and was a pass rush specialist. The only thing that I'm wondering about, because if you watched any of the games that he played in, he would line up on the left side, he'd line up on the right side, he'd line up in the middle. My only thing is he is a bit of a tweener for a defensive end. And I'm not quite sure we're going to be able to bounce him through all positions in the line. But what I do see him is that rotational outside linebacker for Alex Highsmith and TJ Watt, because I think this kid can play both and throw his hand in the dirt.
Just wait. Week 1, watch him in the. I'm not going to even give him the preseason. Week 1 of the regular season, teams are going to run right at him when he's in the game. As you said, he's a tweener. They're going to rely on the opposing team's going to rely on their tackles to push this guy out of the way. And they will. He doesn't have a great size. I mean, you look at him. Yeah, he moved around. He was a Swiss Army knife. Kind of a
Another
jack
Swiss
of all
Army knife?
Oh, just let me finish. He was a jack of all trades.
How many Swiss
Master
Army
of none.
knives can Tomlin put in his pocket? Hell, I can barely carry one. We got a whole team of them.
Listen, this guy, he's going to be a pass rushing specialist, and you hope he can learn how to stop the run. We disagree on that, but let's be honest. He's a 3rd-round pick. That's
so was a little cat named Joey Porter. Do you remember him?
Yes, I remember Joey Porter.
I was realistic too. We've had a lot of 3rd-round picks. There was another cat. What was his name? Oh, Hines Ward. Yeah, he kind of sucked too coming out of the draft. He was just a lousy 3rd-round pick. He didn't make it very long in the NFL either, did he?
Nope. Didn't he wash out after like 1 year?
Yeah. I mean,
only a few Super Bowls later.
I mean, we could go on and on and on about 3rd-round picks. This kid might end up being the gem out of this draft.
Hey,
Now,
that's why I said if he learns how to stop the run,
he can stop the run.
No, he
CJ,
can't. He's not going to be able to
stop
stop the run. No, he's not. He's not. He's not.
JT, we're going to put $1 on it right now. The kid stops the run.
All right.
I
Now,
can't.
this 4th-round pick, though, this one is the intriguing one. Is this our version of Derek Hill?
Okay. Calvin Austin III was the most exciting draft pick outside of Pickett that they made.
Exciting?
Yeah.
Okay. Why is he exciting? Because he can't run?
Dude. Oh, no, this dude can run.
He can run? He's
Yes,
fast?
So, that's what they say. I don't know if it's true.
Is he Jimmy John's fast? Freaky fast?
He is freaky fast.
Okay, so what are we going to do with him?
A lot of gadget plays. Now, in all seriousness, in the Canada offense, you see all those jet sweeps, all these different motions, stuff like that. I think if Matt Canada wants to run his offense, I think you're going to see this guy in motion a lot and be utilized as kind of the end around reverse type deal to kind of open up holes. Now, remember when I said when we did this mock draft 2 weeks ago, I said they will take someone that they look at as a specialist later in the draft. I didn't expect it. I didn't tap into the 4th round. But this guy's going to be returning punts from day one. He's going to be returning kickoffs from day one. This guy has built-in value from right now. So I'm excited to see that.
So we lost our gunner already? Gunner's gone?
Poor Gunner, poor Mitch. Him and Mitch, they're drinking at the Oaklander or whatever the hell the hotel's called right now. Just collecting their check, hoping to maybe collect one more.
Because let me guess. Is this guy a Swiss Army knife?
No. He's a one-trick pony, baby. Straight line speed.
Straight line speed. Okay.
Nice.
But however, if you talk to him, he's versatile and he can do both outside and inside and do sweeps. Now, isn't that a Swiss Army knife?
That should be a normal wide receiver in 2022. I will
It's a
say
Ray
this.
Ray.
That's a Ray Ray.
I listened to his interview, and it was very impressive. I came off very impressed with what he had to say, who and how he modeled his game off, and how he kind of molded that to himself. Very interesting guy. He seemed very bright, and I really like the potential of him.
All right. So the next guy, Connor Hayward, making us the only team in the NFL now with 4 sets of brothers. I mean, is there like nepotism going on this team? What do we got going on here?
Tia, I'm going to let you talk. I'm going to grab beer. And I'm going to keep it short and sweet with this guy. Why? What in the actual F are they doing? This guy doesn't fit the NFL today. What are
Why
they
not?
doing?
Why doesn't he fit the NFL
He's
today?
slow. He's fat. He's short. If I want,
Slow, fat, and short?
yes,
Don't we already have one of those guys?
yes,
there?
we do. His name is one of the Watt brothers.
Benny Snell.
Well, no, Benny Snell. Benny Snell is fat. I'm going to grab beer. I'm going to let you guys talk, and then I'm going
All
to give
right.
you my full opinion on this waste of a pick.
Well, let's keep it rolling. And we're kind of up against the clock here. So we got a couple more to get to as well. So let's keep it powered through. And what are your thoughts on Connor?
Me personally,
Hayward.
I like to pick. First of all, not only that it's Hayward's brother, but if he's a Hayward, he's got to have the mentality of his dad. You see that in Cam. You know you're going to see it in Connor. Now, at 6 foot, I can see why he was a running back, but this kid's got exceptional hands coming out of the backfield. They didn't pick him up because he was Cam's little brother. They picked him up because this kid has talent. And it's going to be interesting to see how they move him around in Canada's offense. So between Mr. Austin III and Connor Hayward, I think that these kids are going to be some gadget play guys, not to mention, let's face it, McFarland hasn't panned out. Benny Snell football, we're still waiting to see Benny Snell football. And Trey Edmonds, I'm just not quite sure if he makes the team this year. So this kid will be on the team, and he's going to be in the trickery playbook.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he's going to be on the trickery playbook for the practice squad if he makes the practice squad. Again, no. This could have been another defensive lineman. This could have been someone that has actual NFL potential. I would have took a fucking punter over this guy.
We did last year.
Yeah,
We took one last year.
I would have took another one because Percy Harvin III sucked. Anyway.
Yeah,
again,
he certainly did shit the bed there.
Again.
All right.
We'll move on. It's a 6th round pick. Yeah. I give it an F. Next.
Mark Robinson. Linebacker, Old Miss. 225th overall pick.
I think this was a Brian Flores pick for sure. I think this is a kid that we're going to see probably slide into the middle linebacker slot, maybe some outside. He's going to give Buddy a little bit of run for his money. And it'll be interesting to see what he does.
I'm excited to see what he can do on special teams. I don't disagree with anything you said. 7th round pick. Again, can you find a role and can you fit in it? Yeah, he probably can. He came from Ole Miss, played in the SEC. Yeah, whatever. Seriously, whatever.
Don't get too excited over that.
I'll shit on slow, fat, normal picks in this late. Yeah, shrug the shoulders and say, let's party.
I don't know. We've had quite a few 7th round picks turn into something. Remember a guy called the Beard?
Mm-hmm.
Cha-ching. I tell you what, this last pick, though.
This guy's a goddamn legend.
This guy here, the last pick's a legend already?
Yeah. Someone's going to be the 4th quarterback.
Well, so far it sounds like Mason Rudolph's the 4th quarterback.
No.
Chris Oladokun. Saying that right?
Oladokun.
Yeah.
Yep, Oladokun.
Oladokun. South Dakota State.
Now, I have a question for you guys. With the mobility that we are seeing in other quarterbacks in the AFC here, was he taken in the 7th round to be the practice squad guy, scout team guy? Someone that might be able to better prepare the defense for the mobility that we're going to see in Deshaun Watson and Lamar Jackson during the regular season. Because this guy has good mobility. He had a great career at South Dakota State.
Well, I'll say this. You do bring up a valid point that he could check all of those boxes as far as a practice squad quarterback to get ready for Lamar Jackson and all the other running back quarterbacks in the NFL today. However, there's something about this kid that the Steelers really, really like. This is not the first time we've seen this name. This name popped up out of nowhere and kind of went to the back page when we were talking on our quarterback search and going through the 5 quarterbacks and around the globe. I think whether we picked up a quarterback or not, this kid was going to get drafted by us, and he will end up being either A, on the practice squad, or our 3rd string quarterback. But there's something about him that they like, and it's just a matter of whether or not he has NFL capabilities.
No, I agree with that. They saw something in this guy that they liked. They could have kind of rolled the dice and hoped undrafted free agent signing and went from there. Again, I kind of see a different, like I said, practice squad arm, scout team guy, someone that can kind of be versatile in that way that helps improve the team. And again, it comes back to, I just don't think Mason Rudolph's going to be on the team. I do think he's going to be the 3rd string guy. Someone that has potential they can play with if they like it, whatever. Again, he was the 241st pick. He's going to be a legend, as you guys might learn next week. He's going to be a legend.
You heard it here, folks. He's a legend in CJ's mind.
I will buy a jersey if they sell them. So
Well,
overall,
JT?
here's a question for you guys.
Okay, go ahead.
You look at the draft. Give me a grade, JT.
I would say B-.
TA.
I'm going to say it's definitely a solid B, borderline B+. I think they addressed everything that they were looking for. I think if any pick was wasted, it was on Austin the 3rd, is where we probably could have went into the trenches and picked up somebody a little bit deeper there. But overall, I think Colbert, for his last draft, went out in style.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't agree about the Austin thing. I think he's going to be valuable for what the Steelers want to try and be. Yeah.
So
B.
we know which pick that you would throw back.
I mean, it's a 6th round pick. I'm not going to fight a 6th round pick. I will just say he's not going to play. He's not going to have one meaningful play this year or next year. I don't get it.
Wow. Okay. All right. Let's do this. There was one guy you said you made a connection with. Maybe we can't guarantee this, But all indications looks like we might have one of these guys on our show next week.
Yes, we might have the legend himself on next week joining us, talking about the lead up to the draft and how learning the background of what exactly they go through to get to this point of us ripping on them.
Yeah, and let's face it, guys, we were trying to get that insight and had everything arranged with Mike Malarkey to get him on, and he was all set to go before the stuff hit the fan there. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I certainly hope he can make it, and we'll certainly welcome him with open arms and look forward to hearing his insight on that. So thanks for making that connection there, CJ.
So for everyone out there listening, I just kind of want to plug our socials right now. We just started up a new Facebook fan page, 724 Steelers. And obviously you can find us at Steelers Realm. But if you would like to ask the legend, as I call him, a question next week, drop a comment on one of our posts as we lead up to next week's podcast, and we'd be happy to read that and attribute you to it. I think next week's going to be a little fun as we get kind of a different feel. We get a new guest, so on and so forth. But seriously, follow 724 Steelers. We just launched it on Facebook, and give us a like and follow on Steelers Realm here.
Yeah, it's actually Steelers Nation Local number 724. So check us out on Facebook, as well as our Steelers sites, and anywhere you get podcasts, as I'm sure, along with YouTube, Rumble, and now we're also on Truth Social too. So you just about find us just about anywhere, guys. Good plug.
All right, one last thing before we leave here. I actually have a question for both of you. If you could have grabbed anyone in this draft for the Steelers that they didn't get, who would have been and why?
Tia, I'll let you handle that one, man.
Yeah, but it depends on what round.
First round.
First round?
Yeah, obviously you're not taking. You're not. I'm gonna give you shit if you say Thibodeau or someone like that. But someone that you think would have improved the Steelers immensely right away.
In the first round.
Yes.
That would have been available when Pickett was on the board.
Yes. That's the best way to phrase that. Yes.
You know, I would have to say either Devin Lloyd or George Karlaftis.
See, my first thought was Devin Lloyd too, so I think we're on the same page there. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. You know, being a Steelers fan, it's not like they take a quarterback every year. So this is interesting. It's a new era. I'm excited. I was at the Pirates game this week. I saw numerous Kenny Pickett Steeler jerseys already, which scares the shit out of me. But I'm excited. I'm excited.
Good. TA, any final thoughts? Did we forget somebody? We had another signing. Did we talk about him? Did I miss that?
If you're talking about the safety that we picked up out of Atlanta, yes,
Yeah.
You did miss that.
DeMonte Kazee.
Okay, sorry. I had to grab something. I had stepped away for a second, and stuff was coming on and off.
He's entering his sixth season. Good depth guy. I played for the Cowboys last year. You know, hey, someone's got to get shit beat out of him in camp. I'll leave it at that.
Well, awesome.
Here's one question, though, before we do go. If the Steelers would not have picked up Pickett with pick number 20, would he have fallen to the second round?
I
Because
don't think so.
now, hold on, nobody thought that Malik Willis wasn't going to get drafted in the first round. He didn't fall until the third. So did we overreach in this draft class for quarterbacks, knowing that there was at least 2 slated for the first round, possibly 3, and in all actuality, there was only 1, and then they didn't start falling off the board until later, and Desmond Ridder was the first one after Pickett to come off the board in the second.
So I have a long-winded response to that. I'll try to keep it short as we're up against time here.
And I
think
apologize.
no,
Ridder,
this is actually a good question.
But Ridder went in the third. So
Yeah.
the quarterbacks didn't go until the third.
I think if the Steelers would have bypassed on Pickett, I think as active as the Vikings were, moving in and out, I think they were kind of on the fence of taking a quarterback. I honestly think if the Steelers bypass on Pickett, he still goes in the first round around the 26 to 32 area. I know that's kind of a large spot, but he would have still went in the first round. Again, the Malik Willis, as I said before, the Willis hype was based on mobility. This guy couldn't hit the broad side of the barn if he was standing 10 yards in front of it. If you watch his tape, you look at his stats, and you see that. This guy was never a first-round pick. He wasn't. I don't get it. This guy, he'll be a nice backup quarterback. He'll be like the dude that backed up Hasselbeck and why can't I think Seattle for years? Whatever.
Wilson.
Yeah. No. Before that, I can't even think of his name. That's how irrelevant he was.
Was it Hasselbeck?
Yeah, he backed up Hasselbeck. It was. I'll pull it up. You guys talk. I'll get the name.
Well, I'm good with what we got. He's Pickett is, if nothing else, man, it's an exciting story. And one that I don't think Pittsburgh wanted to
Not be a part of.
Not be a part of this time around. You know, not making any references to any former Pitt quarterbacks or anything, but yeah, I don't think they were going to let that happen this time.
BJ Daniels.
Boy, that's a household name.
Yeah.
I mean, look at their college stats, look at their height, look at their weight, look at their 40 time. There's nothing different.
All right. And you heard it here first.
Can I say one thing? The biggest
Why not?
for this long out.
Let's just keep talking all fucking night.
If you want me to, I will. I cannot believe that Carson Strong went undrafted. That was my biggest surprise of everything.
Well, you can thank Bill Belichick for that. He took Bailey Zapp instead.
Carson Strong still got paid though. Which if you're gonna pay him that, I don't understand that. It's above my pay grade. But best of luck to him.
Well, he is in Philadelphia, so we'll get to see him someday.
Yeah, I'm excited too. He'll probably torch the Steelers coming off the bench one time. That'll be his career.
All right, guys. Well, hey, we were hoping to maybe even get to our undrafted free agent signings or pickups, but we'll save that for next week. I think we had some fun tonight. Thank you guys for your input, and Steelers Nation, thanks for hanging out with us. Gentlemen, any last words before? I probably shouldn't ask that because I know what that's going to be.
CJ, do you have something to say?
I'll keep it short and sweet and to the point. Shout out Donovan Jeter. Congrats on signing with the Steelers.
Wow.
There's a name for you, baby.
Another legend.
Hometown kid.
Absolutely.
Kid gets signed with his hometown team. Let's go.
We're going to get the hometown discount.
If it's the practice
is that
squad discount.
Where's he from? What part of town?
Donovan, I forget. Said Donovan Jeter's from Pittsburgh. His brother played basketball at Pitt, Sheldon. Donovan played football at Michigan. Good family. Best of luck to them. And it'll be interesting to see what happens here, as I think he's going to be someone that actually surprises us in camp. And he will make the 53-man roster. All
right, cool. Looking forward to it. Let's dig into that some more, some of those guys next week. TA, why don't you take us on out of here?
Hail to Beaver Falls. Good night, Steelers Nation.
That's it. TA, safe travels out there, brother.
Hey, we'll do.
You be back home this weekend? Make it home for the weekend?
Absolutely. I got to go be careful in the hot tub.
That's it, man. That's it. CJ, good to see you again, man. We got to catch up on some of that inside info. Steeler Nation, careful in the hot tub, man. We'll see you next time. We're out of here. Don't forget, manscaped.com, Realm 20 for 20% off. Be there. Be shiny. Polish those babies up. CJ, say goodnight.
Go Sixers.
Check back next week into the Steelers Realm.